Morning park runners, Saturday morning again, and this morning we're off to the Plens Parkrun. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll have to check that when I get there. It's a parkrun that started last week. I hadn't planned to go this week, but they actually put an appeal out for volunteers, so I offered to run and barcode scan because they only had one barcode scanner which they accepted. So I'm going to set off now and we'll catch up on the last mile of the journey. So this is Desborough Leisure Centre, and this is the car park. It's only a small car park, and they've said after the first week they've asked if only volunteers can park in here, and you can now park in the Sainsburys car park, which is only a 5-minute walk away, I'm told, and you're allowed 90 minutes in there for free. And they have spoke to Sainsburys about it, and they're okay with park runners parking in there. You can see all the volunteers here and all the signs, lots and lots of signs. If you want to volunteer, if you email the Plens at parkrun.com, or if you come here regularly, just speak to the RD and they can put you down for a role to volunteer. Always appreciated. For some parkrun stats for the parkrun at the Plens. Today's event 2, and it's the 27th of July 2024. The first event was last week, the 20th of July. They had 226 finishers, so it'd be interesting to see how many come this week. Now everyone knows about it. The average finish time last week was 33:59. Obviously the record attendance was event 1, which was last week, and the lowest attendance was event 1 last week. The male record and female records were obviously set last week, 17:51 for male and 20:07 for female. My stats, it's the 337th park run and 184th location. The postcode I used was NN142JJ. That brings you to the leisure centre area, but they've said please don't park in here, there's too many people coming and it's a small car park. Park in the Sainsburys car park, you're allowed 90 minutes in there for free, and they have spoken to Sainsburys, so they are aware that park runners will be coming in there and they're okay with that. I think the postcode is NN142WE or G. I'll check that and I'll put that in the description. The course, too complicated for me to describe. It runs around the Plens Nature Reserve and Desborough Green Space. It's a trail route on a mixture of hardcore paths and grass, a short section on tarmac, and it says it can be muddy even in summer, but that's something more to do with the weather that we get, I think. Course, there's a start section, then there's 2 loops around the bowl and the tarmac, pass back through the start area, up some steps, then loop the top field, which leads to the finish. And by the entrance here you can see the car park marshals asking people to go to Sainsburys and not parking here apart from volunteers or people who are going to the leisure centre.
If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's your first time to Parkrun, welcome. Have we got any people who are completely new to Parkrun? Lovely! So, you probably won't see this very well. Here is the map of our course. We're going to start over there at the corner, basically the corner of this football pitch is the start line.
That's the start over there by the corner of the football pitch.
There'll be a proper running briefing there as normal. You'll then go down the hill. It's been sort of mowed in, so you'll be able to see where you're going, and you join the path. You go along the path, which is here. You get to a little crossroad. You go straight ahead of the crossroads up a nice cheeky little hill. I call it little. it's a hill. You get to the top of that hill, and you go sort of head. It's pretty much straight on onto a tarmac path. So all of that up to there is sort of like a stony path. There is a tarmac path. You're then going to turn right off the tarmac path. There are marshals inside. You turn right off the tarmac path into what we call the bowl field. Now last week, the bowl field, I don't know if anyone's seen those comments on Facebook about it, of course, the bowl field was described as an antidote. So it looks very complicated. It's this bit on the map here. On the map, it doesn't look too bad. But as you go into that field, especially if you're sort of a mid-runner, there are people everywhere. And it looks a little bit chaotic. But if you follow the signs and follow the marshals, it's absolutely fine. So when you come into the field, you're going to turn right again, go around the outside of the bowl, round the middle of the bowl, through this and out. There is a little down. We can take it down. But then there is back over. You can see there, along the path, and then there's some steps. Some people found the steps were the perfect width for their stride. Other people found that they weren't. So it depends how you run. But there's a few steps to go up. You're landing up at the top of the stairs. You're going to go left and left again into a field that's behind these trees. You go pretty much all the way around that field. There are signs, so there's a straight on sign, go straight on, and then there's a right hand sign. So don't turn until you see the right hand sign. You turn right, so it's this bit up here. You turn right, and then right again, down to the finish.
This week, can you hear me in the middle? Yeah. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah. Can you hear me in Rothwell? 2. My name's Paul and I'm your run director today with a slightly dodgy mic. Can we have a big round of applause please for our brilliant team of volunteers without whom this would not happen. Keepers, are you ready?
We're just about to start the Parkrun. This is only week 2. I listened to the description of the course, but it's definitely a trail course. So we set off on a grass field, and this little bit is slightly downhill going just here, but we have been told there's a hill coming, although it is more of a short incline. The path's fairly narrow, but you can sort of get past, obviously not at the start because there's a lot of people here, so you really need to position yourself where you think you need to be. You can see we're going downhill now by people's running style, and then we're onto this little narrow path. Again, you can get past, it is a little bit difficult. Set off at my usual easy pace, so that's why I can pass a few people. But I do know there's an incline coming somewhere. In fact, I can see it now. It only looks a short incline actually. They call it a hill, but it just looks a short incline. So I'm going to go onto the grass here because the loose pebbles, you can't really push off there. You push the pebble backwards. It looks like it's levelling out now, and we're almost at the top, which is nice. And this bit is, we're on the top now of that little incline flat. In fact, it's slightly downhill now. The next section we get to is called the bowl. There should be a right turn somewhere down here into it, and I can only describe that as you do a anti-clockwise lap of the bowl area, you then do a U-turn and then do a clockwise lap, and then you come out of there, and it should be, being told it's quite fun. You can see lots of runners in different directions, so that should be coming up soon. Still not done 1 kilometre yet, but feel really good on this part of it. Now I've got up that little incline. Starting to settle into my pace now for it. So as we go through this gate, when we've done 2 laps of the bowl, and there's another little loop on the outside of it, just there, that's where you will turn right eventually to come back to the finish area, and the finish is in a different place to the start. This path's quite nice to run on, but once we get to the bowl, that's all on grass. Now at the moment I've got road shoes on, but I can imagine in winter or after rain there's going to be a lot of mud. So here we are, turning into the bowl area. We're all onto grass now.
Thank you.
This is the start of the anti-clockwise lap, and we're on the sort of top of the bowl. And when we do the clockwise lap, we're going to do a U-turn and then go lower down into it and come back the other way. So there isn't really any path here, this is just running on grass.
Thank you.
Saying keep right here, because when we come back round, I will be coming the other way and other runners will be coming the direction I'm going now. You can see already how spaced out the runners are in front. So we're going off to the right just here. You can see all the other people behind just there coming into it. Again, it's quite narrow this bit here, it's not really a section you can pass people on. Still feeling really good. I think my first kilometre was around 4:10, something like that, which surprised me. I didn't think it would be that fast. Maybe I set off a little bit faster than I thought I should. So we've done the anti-clockwise loop, now we're doing a sharp U-turn. And we're going to come round in a clockwise direction now on the inside for most of it of the bowl, but we do run on the path that we came in the bowl on at one point, maybe for 50 metres. You can see the runners coming the other way. It's actually, this is fairly flat round this bit at the moment, but once we dip down into the bottom of the bowl, in about 40-50 metres, we're going to take a right turn, dip down into the bowl and then come back out. I do like these courses where you see lots of other runners, get to see people you know. So sharp right turn, this is downhill this bit now. You can see the runners just in the distance. On the left they're the ones coming in for the first time. On the right are the ones doing around the U-turn, having done the outer loop of the bowl and now doing the inner loop. This is a slight incline uphill. Lovely and dry today. I can imagine in winter this could be quite tough on here if there's mud. So we're coming out of the bowl now. I still feel really good at this point. We're now going to, when we come out of here, take a right turn and then do a big loop, which is all on a tarmac path, which is gives a bit of relief from running on grass. It's really nice. And then once we've done this loop on the tarmac path, we'll do all that again that we've just done. first bit of the path, I think my legs are telling me that it's the slightest of uphill inclines just here. Certainly it looks flat, but it's not. But I think just as we come up to this bit, there's a marshal just up here, and then it sort of turns into flat and a slightest incline down. I can just tell by how my legs feel. Still feeling really good at this point, although I have to say that I do find running on grass hard. It's not my favourite surface to run on. Once we get back down to these trees, we'll take a left turn, and that's where we have completed this loop. Then short straight stretch, and then we'll go back into the bowl section. So this is where on the first time we came round, we came to. Now we're starting lap 2 of the bowl and this loop of the park just there. Now I've done the bowl once, I realise it's not as bad as they made out. It's sort of the upper loop and then the inner loop, and then we're back onto tarmac pass. Still feeling really good at this time. Can't really run any faster than I'm running, but it's all going well. See people coming out of the bowl there just for their first lap.
Hold on, guys. Thank you, mate.
So I was coming to here, I can see the guy at the front had already done the outer and inner loop and had gone left there.
Thank you, tail walker, or tail walkers. Oh.
My legs are starting to tire a bit now, I can feel it, but that's running on grass. Like I said, not my favourite surface to run on, but it is quite firm today. Once we get to this U-turn, I'm going to have a quick look for the guy that I passed just coming into the bowl section, just see if I can see where he is. Is he right behind me? Oh, there's a little gap to him, yeah, that's not too bad. Having said that, when I'm doing parkrun, if someone comes past, I never try to latch onto them or stay with them really, just let them run at their pace. I'm only running for me, just to see how I can do. Okay, I'm just on the little overlap part, 50 metre and then a right turn, then we're out of the bowl. still feeling good. I'm also feeling good because I know I've not looked at my watch yet. Normally I look at my watch sometimes and think on the time I'll think, oh, I'm halfway around the park run, or 3/4, or just a kilometre to go, but I've not looked yet. Little downhill section there into the bottom. And at this point I'm thinking, oh, this slight incline, then we're onto the tarmac path and then off to the finish, so I still feel good. But at this point, I'm not quite sure how far, once we turn back to the finish, how far it is, because the finish isn't in the same place as the start is. Back onto the tarmac path now. That makes me feel better. I do enjoy running on flat tarmac paths, although as I said on the first lap, this is a slightest incline up just here, maybe for 150, 200 metres.
And you, well done.
I remember running past this lady and thinking, I wonder if I could borrow a dog, because it looks to be pulling her along. It might help. At this point I can't see whoever's in front of me, and I can't hear anyone behind me at all. I've not looked back at this point. Let's first look at the watch just there to see what sort of time I'm doing, and it suggests that there's still, even though I know there's just this loop of this tarmac path, there is obviously still quite a distance to the finish. So the return leg, even though the finish is in a different place, it must be still quite a bit further, maybe another half a kilometre than going to the start. Up to the highest point on this loop now, which is good. Now I know that's the advantage of having, when you do loops or when you've done a course before, you know what to expect. So we're onto the flat tarmac section and then a slight incline down until we get back to the point where we'll turn right and head back towards the start, but go past there and then on to the finish. Going left here, then it's probably only 50 metres and then a right turn and back to the finish. Here we are, back onto compacted stone paths now. Legs are really tired. Obviously when we came the other way, this was a slight incline downhill. We're now going very slightly, I can tell in my legs, uphill. When I try and push on the gravel, if you push hard you can feel your feet slip a little bit, so I'm trying to go on the grass just at the edge here just to see if that helps a little bit, but I don't enjoy running on grass, so I'm not quite sure what to do at this point. Can't see anyone in front of me, I can't hear anyone behind me either. Sometimes when I pass a marshal I'll hear if they sort of cheer you on, and then try and listen out for when they're cheering on the person behind. Back on the grass again. Then back onto the gravel. Slight uphill as I said, but we're nearly at the top now. And then there's that short little steep downhill section. this is the top now, round this corner, and then it's downhill. Because it's loose gravel, I'm going on the grass on the right hand side just so that I can let my legs go a little bit. And then again, this is a slight incline up now. This is where we came down from the start. We came down this path. Doesn't need to be too big a hill, you can sort of see where the top is. So as we go to the finish, this is the unknown bit for me. We're going straight on here. We came down the pathway, that lady's on the right. So we're still going uphill, but it's a gentle gradient. Just had a quick look behind there to see if there was anyone behind me. The microphone didn't pick it up, but as I looked round, he shouted, "I'm coming for you." So I feel absolutely exhausted. My legs feel like lead weights now at this point in time. I also know from the run briefing there's some steps coming up somewhere, but I don't know how many steps there are. I can hear the guy behind me now. He's obviously getting closer. He's really close behind me now. I can see the steps. There don't look to be too many steps. I don't think it's close enough just to come past. There'll be steps around the corner, more steps. That was a surprise. I thought there was just that one little set of steps, so I can see the top now. And left turn here up into the grass, but we're still going uphill here. I am now absolutely exhausted, out of breath, legs are dead, and there's probably still half a kilometre to go, I think, at this point, or maybe slightly less. I can hear the guy right on my shoulder now. He's going to come past any second.
No, you go for it.
He's trying to encourage me on. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but when I looked at this, it's half my age, and I've just got absolutely nothing left at this point. I just cannot stay with him. And I'm not sure at this point how far around this field we're actually going. I just know it's a big loop. You can see on the map now, obviously that I put on in the top left of this video, but at the point I was running I wasn't sure, and because of all the weeds and grass on the field I couldn't see the finish flag anywhere. I did have a quick look across to see if I could spot it. That was a slight little 2 steps up just there that we came up. Looking across to see if I can see the finish anywhere, but still can't see it. I'm running on empty now as well. I've got nothing left in my legs, struggling to breathe. I'm just thinking now, surely it can't be much further to the finish. It's got to be close. I know it's in this field somewhere. I know we do some sort of turn and then get to the finish. There's the turn. Hopefully now this is it. We turn round here and then I'm thinking it's maybe just something like 100 metres, something like that. It's not far, I don't think, but looking back, no one behind me. I think I can just about see the finish flag now, so I'm going to try and give everything I've got for this last little bit. I'm really struggling though. There is no way I could have kept up with that guy in front of me when he came past. I just had nothing left whatsoever at all. And good job there's no one with me, because I've got nothing left for a sprint finish either. My brain's saying go for the finish, but nothing's happening. Here we are, Parkrun done. That was a tough trail course, but a beautiful course to run round.
That's that one done, and that one, well done. And tokens go in a box just there, you can put them in number order. Well done. How was that?
Hard.
It was. It's a tough course, isn't it? Especially after the steps, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
You think there's like 6 steps and then you go around the corner and there's like several more, aren't there? Well done. How was that? You've done it. Set you up for the weekend though, isn't it? Well done. Room 101. Oh, there's a box just there. There's a queue because you put them in the exact number position. It makes it easy. Well, I assume someone will actually have to check them as they get them out, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it does. No, it's got it. It's fine. It has. Yeah, it's got it. Yeah, it's very quick. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, perfect. 104. Fab. I'm working down this one.
So I've just asked in the leisure centre, they've only got a machine that does coffees. They said last week, which was week 1, people seem to go to Costa in the town, so I'll just put it on my sat nav. I don't really need to video Costa for people, if people know what that's like, so I'll just go there, see if anyone's in there and have a drink in there. Just to do a course review, it's a trail course, starts with the downhill section, very short incline, it's not really a hill, and then it's flattish out to what they call the bowl. You do an outer sort of anti-clockwise direction round the bowl, then you do a sharp U-turn, do a clockwise inner loop of the bowl, and you're on the same path as then at one point as the runners come in the other direction. As you come out of there, you then do an anti-clockwise big loop back to the bowl. You do that all the second time, and then you return back along the path where you started, but instead of going up the little incline to where you start, you just keep left, go through a bit of a wooded area, then there's some steps, maybe 15-16 steps. You then turn left, slight incline, but then a trail round the field to the finish. Lovely course, beautiful, tough course. Most of it is on grass, but as you come out of the bowl, the little loop is on a tarmac path, which it gives a bit of relief from running on the grass. Narrow in parts, but they're hoping to get the grass cut so it's a bit wider, but I had no problem today passing people, or if you caught back markers up, no problem getting past whatsoever at all. They do ask people to keep right, but yeah, so a lovely course. To me, I think I was 9th today, and probably just under around 21:45, I think 21:50, something like that. I'll have to wait for my result just to see my time. So off to the car now. Hope you enjoy it. I've started putting on now, rather than just me out of breath when I'm running, I'll add a commentary about how I feel and how the course is. I've had some positive feedback on that, people enjoy it, so thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Next week I am on holiday in the camper van, so we're doing Sandringham next week, I think. So that's it, that's a wrap.